In this video, I'm going to show you how to record a journal entry to dispose of an underapplied manufacturing overhead balance. So in our last video, we looked at a series of transactions for a company that made custom cat furniture, and they used job order costing, and we took all these different descriptions of transactions and we recorded the following journal entries. Okay, so that's what we did. The company started on January 1st. We made it a really simple example. Now, you might have noticed that in that example that we had where the actual manufacturing overhead, which is right here, 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 and here, which by the way, every time manufacturing overhead is debited, it's the actual manufacturing overhead, the actual amount added up to $7,000 if you add up those four numbers. But if you were to look and see, okay, well, what about how much overhead that we applied? We applied, and again, the manufacturing overhead, when it's applied, is credited. We applied $6,000. So we had actual manufacturing overhead of $7,000, and then we applied $6,000 of manufacturing overhead to jobs. So you saw that we had actually an underapplied manufacturing overhead balance of $1,000. We did not apply enough manufacturing overhead to jobs. We shortchanged it by $1,000. Now, if you want to think about it in terms of the T account for the manufacturing overhead account, remember that manufacturing overhead is a temporary account. Okay, so we're going to have to close it out at the end of the period. And if you look at all the debits and then you look at the one credit, you see that it ends with a debit balance of $1,000. But we can't have that. We have to credit on this side for $1,000 manufacturing overhead to zero it out. And one way to do that, so if we just credit manufacturing overhead for $1,000, and now we have to debit something. So one thing you could do is just debit cost of goods sold. You just debit cost of goods sold for $1,000, which will obviously reduce your company's operating profit. So profit is going to go down by, operating profit will go down by $1,000. And then we've credited the manufacturing overhead, so we've zeroed out this account. Okay, so we've zeroed out the manufacturing overhead temporary account, and we just transferred the amount to cost of goods sold. Sometimes, maybe you have a government contract or something, you're actually required to use the proration method. And I have another video where I talk about this method in more detail, so I'm just going to go over the very basics. So with the proration method, it's not as simple as just making this journal entry. We actually have to prorate the manufacturing overhead, this underapplied balance. Okay, so this $1,000, we're going to spread it among work in process inventory, finished goods, and cost of goods sold. So we're going to look at these three accounts here. We're going to look at those three, and we're going to say, okay, how much manufacturing overhead did we actually apply during the period? Well, we applied $6,000. And of that $6,000 that we applied, what happened to it? Well, if you go back to our case facts, you see that, well, $5,000 went to job A, but then job A was completed and sold. So $5,000 of that $6,000 underapplied balance ended up in cost of goods sold. Okay. Now, what happened to the other $1,000? Well, it's in work in process inventory. How do we know that? Well, it was applied to job Z. Job Z was never completed and it wasn't sold. So it's still work in process at the end of the period. Thus, the $1,000 of manufacturing overhead that was applied to job Z is still in work in process inventory at the end of the period. Now, none of the manufacturing overhead that was applied is in finished goods inventory at the end of the period because we have nothing in finished goods. There's just two jobs, Z and A. A was sold and Z is in work in process inventory. So nothing is going to be allocated in this case to finished goods inventory. But of that $1,000 that was underapplied, that underapplied balance here, we're going to take 83.33% of that, and that is going to be added to cost of goods sold. Okay, so let's take cost of goods sold, and we're going to take 833.33. Okay, now why 833.33? Because we are saying, look, of all the overhead that we applied during the period, 83.33% was sent to cost of goods sold by the end of the period. So we're going to take of the underapplied balance of $1,000, 83.33% will add to cost of goods sold. So we're going to debit cost of goods sold for that. Now the remaining amount, the 16.67%, went to work in process inventory. So we're going to increase work in process inventory by 166.67. Now, as you see, our debits total $1,000, which is great because now we're going to credit manufacturing overhead for $1,000. And again, now we have zeroed out the temporary account of manufacturing overhead. Okay, so either way, whether we just do it the easy way where we just transfer the underapplied balance all to cost of goods sold, or whether we actually prorate it among these accounts and say, okay, what percentage should be allocated to cost of goods sold and WIP and so forth. Either way, we're going to be crediting the manufacturing overhead account because we need to zero it out. The difference is, in one case, we're just debiting cost of goods sold alone. In the other case, we could be debiting cost of goods sold, work in process inventory, and possibly finished goods, although not in this example.